Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Esee knives, so I thought it would be really cool to try out the Esee Expat Darian Machete. That is just a cool blade. I like it already. So I brought it out here for the first time ever to test it out. Um, it is 1075 carbon steel. It has a really nice 90-degree spine, which we're going to use to make fire. Blade is, I got measurements down here just to make sure, 12.3 inches on the blade, overall 18.18 inches. Weight is just under 16 ounces without the sheath, and sells for under 90 bucks on Amazon. Comes with kind of a nylon canvas sheath that is in an off-white color. Now that just didn't work for me, so the first thing I did was I took some dark green RIT dye and just soaked this in it. Hot water, added the green dye, soaked this in it for about a half an hour, and it gave me kind of a OD color that blends in out here much better. But sheath, snaps, then it has a belt loop so you can attach it to your side, carry it. I've seen that some people complained about the sheath. I've drawn it in and out a whole bunch of times at home before I brought it out here, and I don't see any problem. It's what I would call just a standard machete sheath, other than the color. I couldn't handle the off-white. I had to do something to make it blend in. And of course you got some nice micarta handles, and got a place here to put on some cord. I haven't done that yet. But we're going to try this out, guys. We're going to play with this a little bit. So I got a down fir over here behind me. Let's go start by just chopping off some branches and seeing how it does on that. This thing actually feels really good in the hand. I would prefer there'd be more of a finger guard right here. I don't like how easily my hand slides up and my finger will just immediately go right over that. That doesn't stop my finger at all. So if it had a little, a little bit more of a guard here, maybe a little indentation for your front finger, that would be the only change I think I would make on the handle. Other than that, it feels really good. Let's go try it out. So one of the things I would use a machete for in this country is getting a shelter. And just to see how well it chops, I've got down fir here, and see how easily it delimbs some of that. Nice. Wow. That was actually really impressive. Look at that. That's actually a fairly big diameter, and it went through it like it was butter. That's pretty amazing. Another one here. Same thing. That's nice. So for shelter building, this would be absolutely tremendous for shelter building. I like that. Can you guys see here? Yeah. Got one right here on the end. Look at that. That's nice. Well, I could have a shelter up in no time. I could turn this fallen fir into a lean-to. Okay. Let's put this here. So if you guys can see, let's see, I can move you up. Let me move you a little closer. Okay, now this one here is a larger diameter. And I'm going to try to get a good swing on it where you guys can see me coming down. Let's see. That should show right there. See how it does if it'll do that in one chop. Now, 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's still impressive. That is, look at that. I'll show you guys how big that is. That is very, very large diameter. I'm impressed. That is really, really impressive. Nice. That is nice. So you can see the size here. So for shelter building out here, I would like something like this. I really would. All right, let's go test it out on some other tasks that I would be doing out here. Okay, one of the things I use my hatchet for, if you've seen my videos quite a bit, is batoning out fat wood. So I already batoned out one piece using my hatchet. Just tap it down. Let's try and see if we can get fat wood from a stump with the machete. So I think the best way to use it, so if I was going to, for example, use my hatchet would get me a piece right out of here. But my machete, that long blade, is just going to make it almost impossible for a piece that long. So I think, and we'll try it here in a second over there, having the curved part angled. And there we go. Look at that. So the machete, and now I've got, so now that I've taken a corner off here, that gives me another corner over here. Ah, lost my baton. Nice. Actually, what I should have done, I did it on the first piece, but normally when I do fat wood, I always saw first. And then it'll pop right out. So that works really well. Do one more. Yeah. So it is possible to get fat wood with that machete. All right. What about making some fine shavings? And tap that off there, that outside edge. So let's try it this way first. This is how I would use my knife. You guys see those fine shavings coming off there? Yeah, you should be able to see that. And then you can just saw. I've been doing this with my hatchet actually, just sawing back and forth. So look at that. Now it also, like I said, has the 90-degree spine, So then we should be able to get yeah, you guys see that? So you can get the real fine scrapings. It's a 90-degree spine. Give me a few more of those in there. All right. And with that 90-degree spine, let's see if we can get fire. Almost. Okay. Well, we'll just put those up into a little pile here and give it some fast. Well, definitely making the sparks. I got one little one going. Let me get a few more fine ones in there and give it another go. Things don't always go the way you want the first time. And I'm not going to edit this out. I want you guys to see. There we go. Sometimes you got to work at it a little bit. We'll get some more fine scrapings down in there. All right. We'll give that a shot here in just a second. Okay. And move the camera a little bit. I got the sun here in a minute. I'm going to have to move you guys clear around the other side. The sun's going to hit the camera and completely white this out. So, again, we'll just put in some more fine stuff down in there. See that. All right, let's give us another shot. There we go. So I will say right off, the blade, because of all the weight that I'm holding, even though it's only about a pound, but just, I guess maybe the combination of the size of it and everything, definitely makes it a little bit harder to get my sparks exactly where I want than using a small knife or my striker, where I can just put them right in there. But it got us fire. And let's go move here and try out some carving. See how it carves. Put this out for it first. There we go. Okay, what about just some traditional camp carving? So put a point on something. Oh yeah, nice. By the way, Now, this did not come shaving sharp, but I just took it to my regular Spyderco sharp maker, which I use my knives on, and I used started out with the regular ceramic rods and then went to the ultra fine rods, which I like because they put such a hair shaving edge on all my knives, and put the same edge on here. So I can tell you that compared to a knife, it just feels a little awkward because there's so much weight out here in front versus my Esee. That just feels there's so much weight right here back in my hand that it's just easier to carve with. So I mean, it's doing the job just fine. It'll obviously carve very well. And I want to make a spear, some tent stakes. It's going to point a stick just fine, but like I said, I'm constantly feeling the weight way out here in front rather than back in my hand. So it's going to get tiring on the wrist if you do a lot of carving. Okay. So see if you guys can see that. Get rid of that. Make a 7-notch. So it'll do the job just fine. So I wanted to make some tent stakes or something and put in some, point some sticks, make 7 notches. It'll do the job just fine. Okay, so what is my personal opinion? Well, pretty much the Machete for me, in my opinion, is terrain specific. If I was going into a jungle or maybe an area over in Western Oregon where there is lots of areas that are just filled with dense vines and shrubs and things, and I had to do any kind of making a path, I would definitely want this, something like it anyway. I mean, it just would do a fantastic job for cutting through, sorry, vines and branches and making a path. Emergency shelter, how easy it delimbed that fallen fir over there. Easier than my knife, even easier than my hatchet. So for doing an emergency shelter, absolutely fantastic. So again, for me, terrain specific, especially if I was going to go into a jungle or an area where there was dense vines and shrubs and stuff, I would want this with me. But here in the Ochiko Mountains, just, you know, where I'm going to be doing pretty much every time I'm out, except for the hottest part of summer, I'm going to be getting fat wood, doing fires, a lot of carving, bushcraft projects and things. I would definitely rather have my knife hatchet combination. Although, again, personal preference. I know that some people like kukris, parangs, machetes, and they're just familiar with it and they like using them. And if you do, I would say this is a 5-star machete. It's backed by the same Esee warranty as all of their knives. So in the process of chopping out here, had I damaged the blade in any way, shape, or form, they're going to replace it for free, which is just, you know, you can't beat the Esee warranty. And for the price, under 90 bucks, fantastic price. 1075 carbon steel. It's a fire maker, but again, just for me, and maybe it's just because I am so used to using a knife. You know, I actually have 2 knives on today. Got my SE6 and my little JG3. And as always, my little Grand Force Brook hand hatchet. For me, that's the absolute perfect combination for what I enjoy most, what I'm most used to, and for all of the different things I do here in the Ochoco Mountains. But if you're a machete guy, prangs, kukris, or you're going to be going into any place where there's dense vines, jungle, shrubs, and you're going to have to do some cutting, I like this. Also, obviously, it would have fantastic self-defense purposes. So if you were looking for something to put away in, say, a bug out bag, some kind of a everything's hitting the fan, or as I like to say, everything's gone sideways, EGS. I'm gonna coin that phrase for you guys. You're gonna hear it in the future. EGS, everything's gone sideways. So everything has gone sideways. This would be a fantastic self-defense tool. Man, oh man. Zombie apocalypse. Watch out, zombies. So yeah, I give it 5 stars. That I've used machetes before. In fact, at my house, I use machetes when I'm trimming the trees and things like that. And this is just the little bit I've done. The best performing machete I've used. The way it chopped was fantastic. And again, fire making, carving, and a warranty that can't be beat. So there it is, guys. My personal take, review, field test of the Exee Expat Darian machete. Again, under 90 bucks on Amazon. So what am I going to do with this? Final note here. What am I going to do with this? Well, I'm not going to take off my hatchet. I love my little hatchet. I'm obviously not going to start carrying it instead of a knife like my Esee 6 or my Ochoco bush knife for carving, because all that weight in the front there rather than back in my hand definitely could feel that if I was doing a lot of carving, it would be tiring and a lot more work. But, you know, I have a bug out bag too. And I'm just thinking this weighing in at no more than a pound found a home in my bug out bag. So if we do get a zombie apocalypse, zombies be warned, I have a machete. Dan at Ochoco Bushcraft, everyone. Thanks for watching.